Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
We bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
ICI Commissioner Singson said his resignation from the commission was for personal reasons and had no connection to politics.
House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos got a free pass from a public hearing as the ICI granted his request for an executive session.
Tropical Depression Wilma maintains its strength ahead of its possible landfall over eastern Visayas.
The National Council on Disability Affairs hosted the Philippine Disability Expo and Concert 2025 in celebration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
First in the news, President Bongbong Marcos is comparing corruption in government to a deadly cancer, saying the country must undergo major surgery to remove it, even if the process is painful.
Christmas has officially arrived inside the Malacanang Hall, where Christmas trees are now lit and on full display. But when President Bongbong Marcos took the stage at the year-end fellowship, corruption remained his central theme, comparing it to a deadly disease that requires painful treatment.
And when you have to excise a cancer out of such a complicated system, you need to do some very major surgery. And to do that, and when you do that, you will bleed.
The administration is currently investigating the trillion-peso flood control scandal involving inflated and anomalous public works projects. Members of Congress and the Senate are among those allegedly involved in billion-peso kickbacks. The president admitted that uncovering the truth will inevitably hurt people, but said it is necessary to finally end corruption in government.
I am sorry that the people suffered because of it, but it had to be done. We have to go through that. Go through the pain, go through the difficulty, go through the anguish that the country is going through now. But we're Filipinos. We may be bleeding now, but we will also heal very, very quickly.
Earlier, President Marcos personally inspected the 3.1 billion peso Bocana Bridge project in Davao City together with DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon.
Natulungan naman tayo ng ating mga Chinese na contractor dahil ang ganda ng technology nila. Marunong talaga sila magpatayo ng magandang tulay, magandang infrastructure na mabilis at nasa tamang gastos, nasa tamang presyo.
The bridge is scheduled to open before the end of the year, cutting travel time dramatically for the 35,000 vehicles expected to pass through Bocana Bridge daily.
Ang biyahe na dati halos 2 oras ay mababawasan, magiging mga 25 minutes, 20 minutes na lang. Kaya't malaking ginhawa, lalong-lalo na ay ngayon na magpapasko tayo.
The project forms part of the Davao City Coastal Bypass Road, which will connect the eastern and western portions of the coastal road network.
House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos voluntarily appeared before the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, to address questions on the flood control controversy. However, he requested an executive session. Here is a report.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this honorable commission?
I do.
Presidential son and House Majority Leader Congressman Sandro Marcos appeared before the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, but the live stream of the hearing lasted only a few minutes. His lawyer requested an executive session, saying the congressman could provide information more freely in private.
We again request that for an executive session for Congressman Marcos.
We grant your request, so we will adjourn the session and go into executive session.
Congressman Marcos agreed to release the video recording of his testimony to the ICI. According to Sandro, the commission did not summon him, nor is he the subject of any investigation. He says he appeared voluntarily to assist in the probe into the flood control scandal.
Wala po akong tinatago, so I am happy to assist them in any way, shape, or form.
He was previously accused by former Ako Bicol Representative Zaldico of inserting 50 billion pesos into the national budget from 2023 to 2025. But as he had repeatedly done in the past, Congressman Marcos again insisted cause allegations are lies.
I did not do any such a thing. Kung nakikita nyo po yung listahan, may mga project dyan sa Davao City nakalista sa Davao City. Alam naman natin sino nakatira doon, ba't ba ako maglalagay ng projects doon?
Aside from alleged budget insertions, a report by the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism said Marcos supposedly received 15 billion pesos in allocables, funds from the DPWH distributed to districts for infrastructure projects. The report called this a new form of pork barrel. Congressman Sandro was asked about it, but he did not respond.
Report on your allocable.
Thank you.
If Sandro appeared before the ICI even without being summoned, Davao City 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte initially said he was open to an investigation into projects in his district. But he later on announced he would not appear before the ICI, saying the commission has no authority or jurisdiction over lawmakers. He claimed Malacanang is using the ICI for propaganda and that non-allies of the administration are being turned into punching bags. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, We Are One News.
Yan. So, hindi natin maiwasan yung mga tao. Nagkaroon ng comparison yesterday doon sa pagpunta ni Congressman Sandro Marcos sa ICI and si Congressman Duterte refusing, diba, to appear before the ICI commission.
And instead of answering issues, attacking the integrity of the whole investigation, ICI to Malacanang, parang sinasabi niya, nag-gaslight na naman sila. Kasi parang yan ang nagiging tono ng other side. Sabi ng mga tao na they don't answer, instead they point it back to the administration.
Parang tatak Duterte, because prior to his refusal to go to the ICI's investigation, meron siyang statement and we read it here yesterday saying na he is open for any investigation, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, he was given the invitation. Bigla naman siya nag-refuse, diba, to attend nga the ICI. Although ito naman si Sandro Marcos, sabi nga, let's not applaud him because it's the bare minimum of a public official to show up in an investigation. But then again, being there without sinasabi na wala sa shadow ng kanyang abogado, pero still, he asked for an executive session.
Doon mo nakikita yung lack of power ng ICI na parang any other politician na isa-summon doon will ask for executive session, i-grant mo na lang kasi alam mo, if you don't grant it, baka umalis.
You won't get anything from them.
Hindi tulad ng mga Blue Ribbon Committee na may contempt powers, di ba, na, ba't ka na bibigyan ng executive session? Di ba? Tell us muna, and then we will decide if it is rightfully so. Di ba ganun si Senator Ping Lacson?
That's why, di ba, you can see the frustration of recently resigned or newly resigned Commissioner Babe Singson.
Although he will not say it's the reason.
But sabi niya family and personal health niya. But, you know, he reiterated yung need for the laws, diba, to pass parang magkaroon ng enough powers or mas maraming ipin, diba, itong ICI na ito. Sinasabi niya yung pinasa ng Senate, which is the Independent People's Commission, sa naman sa Congress yung Independent Commission Infrastructure Against Corruption. Diba? Pero until now, yung hinihingi natin sa Malacanang, hinihingi ng tao sa Malacanang to certify this bill as urgent, wala pa.
Alright, let's move on. Outgoing ICI Commissioner Babe Singson said his resignation from the commission was for personal reasons and had no connection to politics. Here is our report.
My letter was sent a few weeks ago, and it's irrevocable that complied with the 30-day notice. May mga nagsasabi na kung pwede daw extend. Sabi ko, why not? Kung mga 15 days lang, wala namang problema. But otherwise, it stays on December 15.
On our sister program Historicon, ICI Commissioner Rogelio Babe Singson said officials knew about his resignation way before it was announced Wednesday, December 3rd. On Thursday morning, he also spoke at length to media on why he quit. He clarified that his reasons were personal and had nothing to do with politics or external pressures.
My 77-year-old body cannot take it anymore. I've been in and out of the hospital. This is the first time in my life that I've been asked to take maintenance medication for heart, high BP, high cholesterol, high creatinine, name it, everything is red flag in my body.
Singson likewise revealed that he had actually planned to stay with the ICI for only 3 months. On such short stint, the former Public Works Chief believes he delivered his commitment to provide technical expertise in the government infrastructure projects.
I feel that I've done what I have to do for ICI, but I have to also answer to the needs of my family concerns, and my own personal life. I want to get back my privacy.
Nevertheless, Singson says the ICI is not equipped, from powers to manpower, to handle its Herculean task of cracking down on corruption. Their printers are borrowed, they have to bring their own laptops, and their staff, all volunteers.
Up to now, yung budget na sinasabi nila, nasa dyaryo lang, wala pa sa amin. Nasa dyaryo nga, wala sa amin.
And while making do with very limited resources, the expectations of ICI are unlimited, which is to catch all the big fish in the flood control mess. That is why he's calling for Congress to expedite the body's legalization so that they will have more teeth and broader powers to probe anomalies.
I am appealing to members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, ipasa nyo na yung IPC, or Independent People's Commission at the Senate level, and the ICAIC, which is at the lower house version. They committed that they will pass it before the end of the year.
Amid the challenges, Babe Singson believes the ICI is not dead yet, as what his friend, Caloocan Congressman Egay Erice told One News Historicon on December 3.
I don't think that's a fair statement. No? It's a commission work. No? I'm just one of 3 members.
For Navotas Congressman Toby Tiangco, Singson's resignation signals the urgent need to pass the proposed Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption or ICAIC bill. Tiangco authored the bill together with ML Party List Representative Leila De Lima and Erice.
Kumakalampag na po kami, both sa House leadership and also kay Pangulo. Nasaan na po? Bakit po hindi pa ini-schedule for plenary? We have barely 5 session days remaining. May sapat pa bang panahon?
On the part of the Senate, Justice Committee Chair Kiko Pangilinan, co-author of the establishment of the Independent People's Commission, said there's already a committee report ready for plenary deliberation.
Yung pag-resign ni Sec Babes is, I think, all the more dapat talagang isulong itong IPC kasi nga siya mismo nga nagsasabi na kulang ang kapangyarihan, ang resources, ang pondo ng ICI para magampanan yung hinihingi sa kanyang trabaho.
Kapatid Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
As I was saying kanina, diba, a lot of people are also thinking kung seryoso ang PBBM administration dito nga to go after the crooks behind the flood control projects, i-certify as urgent na nga itong bill na to, nitong sa House at saka sa lower, para magkaroon pa sila ng ample time to create this law talaga, mabigyan ng enough power ang ICI.
A constitutionally created commission na hindi na galing sa EO with more teeth, more power, contempt powers, summon powers. Yeah.
Kaya lang kasi ang nagiging parang tono ng Malacanang ngayon, through their spokesperson, Yusek Castro, parang ay naisip nila na baka redundant daw because there's NBI, there's other agencies that could do it. Pero,
kung redundant pala,
bakit nag-create ka pa nito?
Through EO, ganun din pala. So ano yung purpose ito? Parang, ang sinasabi ng tao, hindi naman pure for optics to, was dapat yun ang function niya is to speed up cases, pero parang ang nangyayari is pagdating na sa gagawin mo part of the Constitution, ayaw nyo na.
Wala, tulad yan, di ba? Hindi dumating si Pulong Duterte. Ano gagawin ng ICI? Wala. Because wala naman silang contempt power. And meanwhile, Baguio City Mayor Benji Magalong revealed that he has received information indicating that more officials are allegedly planning to resign from the Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI. While he declined to identify them, Magalong told 1PH sa Totoo Lang that these individuals share the same sentiments that prompted outgoing ICI Commissioner Babe Singson to step down. Magalong, who previously served as a special advisor to the ICI, acknowledged that the Commission's effectiveness has long been hampered by its lack of subpoena and contempt powers. He emphasized that the next commissioner must possess strong infrastructure, expertise, advanced technical proficiency, and the resilience to navigate the challenges facing the Commission.
may naririnig din ako. Most probably, same sentiment, same sentiment. Stressful, lack of support, lack of authority, power. Yun ang mga sentiments talaga. Ito yung vision mo, ito yung gusto mo ma-achieve. Pero hirap na hirap ka ma-achieve kasi kulang. Hindi kulang yung resources mo, kulang pa yung power. Paano mo i-achieve? Mapufrustrate ka. Dissolution.
The Securities and Exchange Commission has revoked the registrations of 2 construction firms linked to the Discaya family. The SEC canceled the certificates of incorporation of St. Timothy Construction and St. Gerard Construction. Each company was also fined 2 million pesos and their directors were barred from 5 years from serving as officers of any corporation. Sara Discaya earlier admitted she was the owner of both companies, information that the SEC said was never disclosed in their filings. According to the SEC, both firms were given 15 days to explain but failed to respond.
Yung 2 million peso fine, parang narinig ko yan na parang per day yan. 2 million pesos per day until mag-comply na ipa-dissolve yung board.
No, parang 1,000 pesos per day yung upon the violation.
Oo, tapos
2 million yung pinaka-fine.
Kasi parang narinig ko kanina, 2 million per day until yung board ma-dissolve. Kasi and any of these board members cannot serve for the next 5 years for these companies also. So in other words, kunyari, sige, revoke mo to, pero nagtayo sila together again, bawal na daw yun. Any of these companies na related to each other, bawal na.
So ayan, 2 companies were also directed to pay 2 million each as penalty, plus an administrative fine of 5,000 per day of continuing violation.
Ayun, malinaw.
Diba? So, yun nga kasi sinasabi niya during the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, diba, na she owns nga itong dalawang construction na to, pero iba yung nakalagay dun sa SEC.
Yeah, oo.
So, of course, ang mga tanong din dito, paano yung mga empleyado niya doon sa SEC, sa St. Timothy?
Actually, pinag-usapan nila nga, I've heard several congressmen saying, pinag-compute nila ilan daw ang tatamaan ng mga jobs dahil sa, kunyari, ipasara nila itong mga company na that broke the law. In other words, fake SEC papers or kaya nag-bid rigging. Aabot sa almost 8,000 daw ang mga mawawala ng trabaho. So they're taking a look on paano to i-absorb into other projects ng government temporarily. Baka kasi may mga ongoing government projects with legit companies, baka daw maipasok sila.
Plus of course, ang daming kontrata ng dalawang construction na to.
Yes.
The government and outside the government, diba? So, ano rin yan, chain reaction.
Para malinaw kasi yung St. Timothy naman, in all fairness, may mga projects din na above board. Ang problema, they engaged also kasi in the bid rigging, they engaged in the ghost projects. Kaya nadamay yung mga empleyado na matitino.
Plus, there were evidence, diba, na doon sa mga lugar na pinuntahan nila Secretary Dizon sa Oriental Mindoro, yung iba mga talagang under the
yan ang sinasabi ko. Pero sinasabi ko yung
ghost project or substandard.
Sinasabi ko yung may mga matitinong employee doon na hindi naman lahat engaged in that business. Pero may portion daw of that company na ang nag-engage talaga in the ghost projects or substandard.
Well, this is
kaya nadamay yung mga nagtatrabaho na maayos.
Tuloy-tuloy pa yan, ano? But we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. Tropical Depression Wilma maintains its strength. Pag-asa last spotted its center at some 235 kilometers east of Borongan City, Eastern Samar. Wilma may make its initial landfall or pass close over eastern Visayas or Dinagat Islands between tonight and tomorrow morning. It will continue to traverse Visayas until Sunday before emerging over Sulu Sea. Over a dozen areas across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao are now under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1. These are now being flashed on your screens.
The 9 Filipino seafarers from the MV Eternity Sea who were held hostage by Houthi rebels have safely returned to Manila. Here is our report.
9 Filipino crew members who were held hostage by the Houthi rebel group arrived in the Philippines on Thursday night. In July 2025, 8 other crew members had already returned to the Philippines. 3 crew members were killed and 1 remains missing. Families warmly welcomed the 9 seafarers upon their arrival. The crew members were aboard the MV Eternity Sea, which was attacked by the Houthis in July. The cargo ship was sailing through the Red Sea toward Somalia to deliver food for the World Group program when it was targeted by the rebel group.
Kahit medyo natagalan, ay sa wakas ay makauwi na ang ating mga kababayan. Welcome home sa inyong lahat. Tama-tama, Merry Christmas.
The government has pledged financial assistance for the Filipino seafarers, along with free medical and psychological consultations. They will also receive livelihood support and help in restoring lost documents.
We know na mababakante sila in terms of work as they really need to spend time with their families after their ordeal. We will be providing counseling and medical assistance also. Of course, nag-offer na si ASEC Glo, but we also have our OFW hospital. Meron ding matter on their belongings, documents, government IDs and documents being lost, lumubog kasama ng barko. So I think it will be tomorrow. We'll have some sort of a one-stop shop. We'll call Pag-ibig and all those other agencies na SSS na nawala yung mga IDs nila para under one roof makausap na nila yung agencies to restore all their lost documents.
Okay, so I remember our reports regarding this before, di ba, yung mga nakidnap nga ng mga Houthi rebels. Pero yun nga, we understand also yung kinakailangan gawin ng government for them, yung psychosocial debriefing because very traumatic ang nangyari sa kanila, financial assistance, livelihood assistance because kailangan din nila ng trabaho, hindi lang basta dole out lang na ibibigay sa kanila. And of course, more importantly is for this government to really fix the root cause of this problem. Of course, yung pinag-uusapan din natin dito, yung rules and guidelines sila pagdating sa pagpunta o pag-sail doon sa mga danger zones.
Wala naman kasi total total ban or not allowing them to sail in these zones. Ang hinihingi lang ng government, which nag-comply naman ata itong company, is bago biyahe, they're supposed to inform yung mga seafarers na ito ang pathway na dadaanan natin. Are you willing to go?
May waiver.
May pipirmahan silang waiver and at the same time, meron silang tinatawag na hazard pay na i-offer. Ang pinag-uusapan kasi ang nagiging problema daw is they're taking a look na may paraan ba na pwede natin i-ban for the meantime from going to these danger zones kasi time and again pag kahit may waiver ka the government is the one that comes to the rescue at their expense. At the government's expense.
Sinasabi ko na finally address ng government itong issue na to because mas mahalaga pa rin naman yung buhay kaysa dun sa kikitain ng mga tao. We can say that, no? Pero of course, di natin alam yung plight ng ating mga kababayan. But still, yun ang ating sana ma-address ng government dito sa nangyayaring issue na to para hindi na tayo, yung wala nang ganito, di ba, na at the end of the day, yung mga nakikidnap doon, di ba, sa sea. Alright, in other news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has announced a salary increase for military and uniformed personnel. This will be rolled out in 3 tranches starting January 1, 2026, then in 2027 and 2028. The President also said that the subsistence allowance for all MUP will be 350 pesos per day. The announcement comes as the AFP begins a review of its complete disability discharge policy to strengthen support for wounded soldiers. This follows Marcos's order to halt the discharge of Captain Jerome Hakuba, who was blinded in a 2016 bombing.
Joining us now is AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla. Colonel, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Colonel.
Hello, Sir Jello and Ma'am Angela. Magandang umaga po sa inyong mga taga-subaybay.
All right, Colonel. Of course, we've heard the President talk about already yung mga raise ng salaries or yung base pay. Ano po ang reaction ng AFP dito?
Of course, sir, it's a very welcome development po for all the armed forces of the Philippines personnel po, no? Every sailor, every airman, every marine, every soldier po is really very glad po, no, about this news na may ganito nga po paparating in the coming year.
So, Colonel, para malinaw lang ng konti sa amin, no, sako po ito lahat ng ground personnel as well as yung sa administrative side?
Yes, sir. Lahat po ng active na soldiers and of course and also the retirees po. It will benefit both the active personnel and retirees po.
Okay.
Okay. Well, some people are reacting to the timing of this announcement of the President. This is right after, of course, in the middle of the rumors na sinasabi may mga destabilization plots. What can you say about that?
Well, ma'am, no, this approval po is actually the outcome po of collective and organized efforts po, no, for over more than a year po. After po itong EO 64, no, in 2024, that granted po itong pay adjustments to civilian personnel and the stakeholders, ang ano po dito, they strongly believe that po the MUP sector po also deserves a parallel review. So, ang mga retired po natin, several of them, composed of senior officers and MUP organizations po, kasama po yung advisors, they started working on a unified proposal. So, itong efforts po na to, aligned with the government's desire to uplift the welfare of the uniformed services, no, amid po dito sa rising operational demands and inflationary pressures. So, ultimately, sir and ma'am, no, the President recognized this and because of this valid justification, in-approve po niya itong EO 107 po.
Ayun. And of course, Colonel, I understand 3 tranches ito, no? Based po sa pagkakaalam nyo, ano po ang schedule ng tranches and how much?
Sir, this will be in a 5% increase every year for the next 3 years starting next year. Sir.
So every year, that's 1 tranche and that's 5%?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, Colonel, we also would like to ask an update po, no? Get an update from you doon po sa nangyari sa yung CDD, doon po kay, what's his name? Captain Hakuba?
Hakuba, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Opo. Ito po, ma'am, no, in coordination with the Department of National Defense by the guidance of our Commander-in-Chief, our President nga po, magkaroon po tayo ng review po dito sa existing policies ng ating complete disability discharge. No? So, with that, Captain Hakuba also will be promoted to the rank of Major and he will be designated po, no, to Major Adaptive Duties that will fully utilize po yung 15 years of professional experience niya and operational competence niya. So, na-transfer na po siya, ma'am, no, sa bagong create na CMO command po.
So far po ba siya pa lang or siya lang po this year yung supposedly will be under CDD na nabago yung decision?
Sa ngayon, ma'am, sa yung hindi naman nabago yung ma'am,
yeah.
No? But yung CDD po is actually a recommendation ng experts from the medical field. But it will still need to go through a board, no, to determine yung magiging disposition po ng personnel. So sa case po ni Captain Hakuba, mayroon po CDD recommendation ng Luna Medical Center because of his itong disability nga po niya. But wala pa pong decision ng board as to kung saan po yung magiging utilization niya after that decision from the medical board. So ang naging decision po, he can serve in different capacities po.
That's what I wanted to ask, Colonel. No? In transition to his service na tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Of course, we cannot deny nagkaroon siya ng yung disability all of a sudden and all his life, wala siyang ganyan. Will the AFP assist him also in this transition to para masanay siya with his new skills that he has to develop?
Yes sir, no? Actually sir, kung makikilala niyo po itong si Captain Akuba, napakaganda po ng disposition niya sir ma'am. Talaga pong hindi niya inaalaw itong disability to limit him. So nag-aaral po siya, no? Nag-aaral po siya paano gumamit ng computer despite the loss of his sight, no?
Okay.
So nakakagamit po siya ng computer. Over and above that po, he was also very active in livelihood, mga activities. So, meron po siyang mga agri-businesses na pwede pong ituro sa iba din pong may mga kapansanan.
But ito pong new policy on CDD, Colonel, will be for situation will be for the situation moving forward. Hindi po siya implemented retroactively if ever.
Ito naman kasi ma'am, no, the AFP in coordination with the DND we already begun, ma'am, our comprehensive review po nitong existing CDD policy. Kasi ang layunin nga po natin dito dahil naipamulat nga po sa atin, no, na may ganito nga po gaps or loopholes po, no. So we want to ensure that no wounded or disabled personnel are separated from service without due consideration, dignity, and long-term support po.
And aside from Captain Hakuba, meron pa po ba tayo mga nakikitang kailangan din po natin will be under CDD?
Ma'am, ito pong magiging review will not benefit just one person. Pagka po na-amend ito, no, magkakaroon po ito ng impact sa lahat po ng the same case as him that is in line of duty po.
Okay. Alright, so moving forward po ma'am, since you're here now, would like to ask you na rin po regarding other issues sa hounding po AFP because of the, alam niyo na po, yung mga destabilization plot. Kamusta po yung moral ng ating mga AFP personnel?
Sa ngayon po ma'am, no, patuloy po na high moral po ang bawat sundalo, ang bawat airman, ang bawat marine, ang bawat, ating mga nasa ating West Philippine Sea din na mga nakadetalye po. At we celebrate po itong parating po naming 90th anniversary. Marami na po tayong mga iba't ibang activities to honor po the heroism and sacrifice of our soldiers. So kanina po, nag-conduct tayo ng replaying ceremony at we also remember our fallen comrades. So marami po kaming sinet na activities for that and nag-iikot naman din po kami all over, no, to really puntuhan ang ating mga tropa at ang ating mga kasandaluhan. And ang masasabi po talaga namin, buo po ang inyong united po kami and professional po ang bawat isa sa amin.
It's a good thing you mentioned. I read somewhere also about yung celebration po ng AFP. Ano po ibang activities na pwedeng abangan natin in the coming weeks?
Sir, meron po tayong, meron tayong replaying ceremony, meron po tayong paggunita po, no, sa ating mga stakeholders, yung mga nakakatulong po, no, sa Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas to perform our mandate and our mission. We will also be holding a concert po, no. Inaanyayahan po natin ang ating mga kababayan na manood niyan sa December, I think it's 19 po. It will be a tribute. It's a tribute concert ng lahat po ng uniform personnel will be performing po. No? Meron kaming representatives, bawat uniform personnel, together with our youth sector po.
And that's open to the public?
So, tayo ng concert para dyan.
That's open to the public, Colonel?
Yes, sir. Opo, it's open to the public. We'll give the necessary announcement po pag once na finalize na po yung activity.
Okay.
And also, yung retired generals po releasing their statement, I think that was last week, stating po, reiterating their support to this government. What is the reaction of AFP here?
Yes, ma'am, no. Of course, the AFP welcomes po itong AGPOS, no, yung Association of General and Flag Officers expression po ng support, which reinforces po itong ating shared commitment para po i-uphold natin yung ating constitution, respetuhin po natin ang civilian authority, and of course, ma-maintain po natin ang professionalism. Ma'am, maganda po kasing i-highlight na ito pong AGPO is composed of majority po of the numbers of senior general officers na retired po. So, nandiyan po, by the thousands po ang membership po ng AGPO. So, ito pong expression of support nila, napakahalaga po para sa Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas.
But aside from that, are we still conducting an investigation on the rumors regarding the destabilization plots na headed daw po ng mga retired generals?
Well, sa amin, ma'am, sa loob kasi, ma'am, within the AFP, I can speak for the AFP. Time and again, na talaga pong binasag na natin itong naratibong ito. Wala po talagang destabilization class within the AFP po, yung mga active po. As to the retired, nakita naman po natin ang suporta ng AGCO. We'll have the necessary agencies look into that po.
And yung talk po na sinasabi po kasi na abolish daw po, papakialaman yung pension nitong mga retired generals, that is not true, right?
Yan naman po, ma'am. Ang pension po kasi, siyempre pinaghirapan po nila yan. And it will not be removed abruptly. No? Ang ano po dito, pagka po may mga clause kasi yan, ma'am, no, to continue enjoying this benefit. And one of that is wala kang convicted na crime na ano po, no, may conviction po 'yon.
Okay.
So kung wala ka naman pong nilalabag na batas, wala naman pong ano, no, patuloy mo pong mai-enjoy ang pension po na pinaghirapan po natin sa ating pagserbisyo.
So para clear lang, Colonel, in other words, until such time na proper courts render a conviction to any of these members, tuloy-tuloy pa rin sila with their benefits.
Yes, sir. Opo.
Okay.
Well, with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras and hope to talk to you again regarding other issues. For the meantime, maraming salamat po AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla.
Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News and Views here on One News.
The National Council on Disability Affairs, or NCDA, led the Philippine Disability Expo 2025, a nationwide gathering that highlights accessibility, inclusion, and innovations for persons with disabilities. Joining us today is Attorney Walter Alava, spokesperson of the NCDA. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Attorney. Thanks for joining us. Attorney, can you hear us okay?
Hello po, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Okay, Attorney, can you tell us more about the objective of this Philippine Disability Expo 2025?
Okay po, ang objective po natin with the Expo is actually po our reaffirmation of our commitment to the United Nations on Disability, United Nations on Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And then at the same time, our also commitment with the Magna Carta for Persons with Disability as accorded by Republic Act 7277.
Well, Attorney, and of course, ano yung highlights itong event? Kasi I understand madaming components o madaming activities ang mangyayari dito. And of course, other people who are watching would like to know, di ba, saan ba ako pwede pumunta? Anong pwede kong magawa?
So, ang highlight po talaga dito, sir, is meron tayong mga different exhibitors. 80 plus exhibitors na mga stakeholders natin, organizations of persons with disabilities, civil society organizations, at the same time government offices providing services, at the same time innovations. Meron po mga assistive devices na innovations na ino-offer na at saka at the same time parang may mga learning booths tayo, mga ganun. Pero yung natin, sir, yung International Day for Persons with Disabilities na held to sa Mega Trade.
Yes.
Actually, nag-closing na kahapon. Tuloy-tuloy po yung expo natin.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes po. Tama po.
But how are we identifying po the specific needs of people with disability community? Alam naman po natin, marami sila iba't ibang needs. And how are we identifying this in terms of, creating this expo for them?
So technically po, meron kasi the NCDA as the lead agency on the monitoring, coordinating, and at the same time policy development for persons with disabilities. So etong etong expo po natin would be an avenue po para po mas ma-aware yung ating mga persons with disability with the different rights. So nag-cater po talaga siya on the rights of persons with disabilities with respect to what the government is doing and what the private sector is doing. So si NCDA naman po, gumagawa po kami ng monitoring tools natin para ma-monitor natin yung different programs and services specifically dun sa mga LGUs natin and member agencies ng NCDA.
And how are we strengthening our partnerships po with the government itself? Kasi alam naman natin, malayo na po ang narating ng mga nabibigay na pangangailangan through NCDA sa PWD community. Pero ika nga, marami pa tayong dapat gawin, So, including yung mga PWD ID, yung iba pang mga rights na dapat natin na maibigay sa kanila. So, how are we strengthening the partnerships with the government to be able to address these concerns?
Ang pinaka number one po kasi si NCDA is composed of a council. So we have 13 strong agencies na board members natin, at the same time, six persons with disability na representatives from our organizations of persons with disabilities. Now, si NCDA po is considering na kasama yung ating mga 13 strong agencies po is actually nag-create kami ng mga different capacity building and awareness para sa mga member agencies po natin para po mas ma-implement yung mga different mandates nila. Kasi nga po, ang mga natin, the NCDA is composed nga po ng dalawa, the council member and the NCDA secretariat, kami po yun. So yung yung members po natin, yung board members po natin, sila po yung may implementing powers. So nire-remind po natin sila lahat, lagi po na yung mandates po ninyo, especially on the accessibility and reasonable accommodations for persons with disabilities, dapat po, as mandated by law, is magawa. So yun po yung yun po yung lagi natin na nakalagay sa ating mandate sa NCDA.
Attorney, kamusta na po? You mentioned accessibility. Kamusta na po ang coordination nyo with the LGUs regarding yung mga nagiging issues sa mga sakayan, sa mga localities nila sa transportation? Kasi madaming reklamo po yung mga kasama natin na may disabilities na karamihan walang access po sa mga public transport physically, no?
Tama po, sir. Tuloy-tuloy po yung ating disability sensitivity training. Sa katunayan po, meron tayong na-launch na online learning system na dun sa website po natin nagbibigay po ng ng parang disability sensitivity training or awareness. So need po kasi talaga na ma-aware yung mga different transport groups natin, at the same time yung mga stations natin na there is a law, the BP 344, on accessibility for persons with disabilities. So yung awareness po talaga yun yung pinapa-strengthen natin, sir.
And aside from the training, do you have direct coordination also with the transport groups?
Yeah, actually, sir, yes, sir. Lalo na dun sa mga recent na nangyari with the social media na nag-viral, yung sa mga different buses na incidents. So, kino-coordinate po natin sila para po mas especially dun sa mga employees nila, na mas ma-sensitize sila with respect to the rights ng ating mga persons with disability and how to handle persons with disability po.
Well, Attorney, I'm also curious about yung ating tinatrabaho na PWD-ID. We all know naman na nagkaroon po ng maraming problema regarding this, yung nagkakaroon ng fake, 'di ba? Or yung anong tawag doon, yung inaareglo para magkaroon ng PWD-ID.
Kahit wala naman kapansanan.
Oo, and of course yung push din for a lifetime PWD-ID for a person with disability community.
Okay po. With respect to that po, an update would be like, meron kasi tayong unified persons with disability identification system na ginagawa po. And meron na po siya sa rollout stage na nag-rollout na po tayo Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. And currently po, meron na tayong na-train na mga PIDAW officers natin. Meron tayong 572 na LGUs po. So tuloy-tuloy po yung pag-rollout natin sa ating system. Now, what does the system do? Yung system po is, it's a separate system from the Philippine Registry for Persons with Disability kasi yun yung for services medical services or programs na si DOH po yung gagawa. But with respect to the Unified Persons with Disability ID, ito po yung another parang registry or data na magbibigay po ng 24/7 verification for persons with disabilities. So, yung mga yung mga establishments or ating mga persons with disabilities, pag kini-question sila with regards, lalo na dun sa mga non-apparent natin na category sa persons with disabilities, pag i-verify sila, meron na pong 24/7 na portal na isa-scan lang yung digital ID nila para makita po na persons with disabilities sila. So, authenticated yung IDs na ipe-present nila. Kasi yun po yung gap. Yung gap po kasi, nag-i-issue ng IDs yung different LGUs natin, and iba-iba yung itsura. So, ang sa Unified ID po natin is isa na lang yung itsura niya sa lahat sa buong bansa, and it's a digital ID po, hindi po siya parang physical ID. It's a digital ID, so pwede lang po siya ilagay lang sa phone para ma-QR or ma-scan yung QR code niya.
And how do we make sure this is foolproof?
Ang naman po, as the DSWD, tsaka yung sa developer natin is, pag na-encode naman po yung mga details ng ating persons with disability, which will also be, issued by our LGUs. Pero may dalawang po kasi, parang verifier and encoder. So, dadaan siya dun sa dalawang accounts na yon para po ma-verify yung ating persons with disability. So, cleansing po yung nangyayari natin sa Unified Persons with Disability ID
And yung
system.
timeline po natin to make sure na included po lahat dito sa Pilipinas na magkaroon po ng Unified PWD ID yung ating mga kapatid na nasa PWD community.
Yes po, part naman po ng plan is the 3-year transition period po. Yung first phase po ng plan is like 2025, July to December, will be the pilot test, the development of the system, pilot testing, and then rollouts. So nandun po tayo. And then the 2026 po, January 2026 to December 2026, we are expecting po na saturated na yung ating numbers of LGUs na gumagamit na ating system, and hopefully po masaturate din yung mga persons with disability using their identification cards. And by 2027 po, doon na po tayo sa mga evaluation or enhancements with respect to the system po.
Alright. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Attorney Walter Alava, spokesperson of the National Council on Disability Affairs or NCDA.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
The Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas o SBP has finalized Gilas Pilipinas' lineup for the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Thailand. The squad will feature professional players Jamie Malonzo, Dalf Panopio, 30 Ravenna, Matthew Wright, Ray Parks, and Justin Chua. It will also include Robert Bolick, Abu Tratter, and Von Pesumal. Collegiate standouts and CAA Most Valuable Player Alan Liwag, Adamson University forward Cedric Manzano, and UAAP Rookie of the Year VJ Pre complete the 12-man roster.
In other news, TV5 has released a statement regarding its content partnership with ABS-CBN. The network acknowledged the value of ABS-CBN's popular programs to its viewers, especially after the latter's franchise was not renewed in 2020. While it values its partnership, TV5 said that it has to address some concerns, specifically ABS-CBN's failure to meet its financial commitments to TV5. The network assured audiences that it remains committed to providing quality programming regardless of how the issue unfolds.
Pasensya na pala sa kung na-butcher ko yung pangalan, kung pre or pre. VJ pre, kasi ngayon ko lang na-encounter yung name na yun.
But good luck, di ba?
Good luck, pre. Kumaga, good luck sa inyo. And of course, nagkaroon kasi ng sobrang takot daw ng ibang team sa Gilas. Kaya iniba nila yung naturalization rules para hindi makasama yung mga the likes of sila Brownlee, sila Kwame. Kaya hinigpitan nila. Pero itong lineup natin, malakas pa rin to. Nandyan si Bolick, si Ravenna nandun. Malakas pa rin si Parks. Lagi naman tayong sa SEA Games, maganda ang showing lagi ng Gilas natin.
And don't forget also to watch out for our coverage ng SEA Games. Of course, ang One Sports.
May athletics, siyempre. Yung athletics.
Denise and the rest of the delegation will be there to cover the event. Denise
Akala ko maglalaro si Denise sa volleyball na To-cover lang yan. Good luck, guys. Good luck. And of course, thank you very much to Buddha's Belly for this wonderful weekly fair, Chinese food fair. And isang linggo na naman na lumipas. Tapos nagkaroon tayo ng Christmas party the other day, di ba?
Ingat pala doon sa mga kababayan natin na maapektuhan ng
bagyo, si Wilma.
Okay, patuloy din po kayo nakaantabay dito sa One News para po doon sa mga magiging balita tungkol dyan sa bagyo na yun.
Kahit nag-weekend na po, ito mag-weekend, wala ang news and views. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang One News covering the latest issues and mga updates sa bagyo. You can just tune into our Facebook page, sa One News po yan. And of course, all our other social media accounts for more updates.
Abangan din nila kung sino pa yung mga mag-show up sa ICI investigation.
Let's see, kasi sa weekend, lagi may nangyayari sa weekend na mga nakakagulat. Sa Monday, tayo Diba? But for now, relax, chill, take it easy, and enjoy time relax, chill, take it easy, enjoy time with the family. Simple. That wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Join us again tomorrow or on Monday. Ayoko na pumasok tomorrow.
Gusto mo pumasok tomorrow, pero pahinga muna.
Of course. Monday pa tayo, wala tayong ere tomorrow.
See you on Monday. I'm Angelo Castro III. Kapatid, we are One News.
All sides, all the time.